everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fpla Plus. Today we'll be covering a insane wildcard team for Game Week 5, as well as any other selections and transfers for you to consider ahead of Game Week 5. And then also, what am I likely to do for my team ahead of Game Week 5? So firstly, to start off with, as you can see, we've got a potential wildcard team for Game Week 5. So to start off with at the back, who else than Sanchez from Brighton? With Brighton looking quite solid at the back, you won't go wrong with him, especially with the solid Brighton defense that they've got. He doesn't make a lot of saves, so don't expect major hauls or bonus points, but he's hopefully quite good in terms of ticking over for 6 and 7 pointers. Steele's just the backup keeper from the same team, just in case for some reason Sanchez does not start or falls ill, then that would be a ready-made replacement there. At the back, Alexander-Arnold, you cannot go in the next few games at least without him, given the fact that Liverpool have got some good fixtures. Let's just have a look at them. Crystal Palace next. I know they're sometimes a bit of a bogey team for Liverpool, but the way the current Liverpool team and Trent is playing, there is a potential clean sheet there. Brentford, away, it might not be as easy, but I can see Liverpool actually winning that one. Then there's a tough fixture. So at that point, you might not get a clean sheet, but Trent, he's always got his attacking return. So if he doesn't get you clean sheet points, then there's always assists or other attacking returns. And then there's Watford, and then there's Manchester United. So that might be a tricky one, but that could also be quite a tight game. So many past Man United Liverpool games have ended up in a 0-0 draw. Okay, so that's Alexander-Arnold. And then we've got, I think, the team with the best fixtures from a defensive perspective from here onwards. Wolves, that's got Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, Aston Villa. You cannot tell me that the team is actually playing currently. It's got a better lineup of teams to play to improve their chances of clean sheets. So Wolves defenders are definitely out there in terms of some of the top picks. Semedo being the defender with the most likely chance to score. And then we've got Marcel that had a brilliant game week 4 with 13 points, 2 assists. He's got the highest chance of assisting. So he's got a potential bit of rotational risk, but I don't think it's that high. But I think it's similar to some of the other teams that will, on the odd occasion, like Chelsea, transfer in some other players. And then we've got Reece James, who should be back for this game and available. Probably the closest defender that there is to Alexander-Arnold, and he's also one of the most attacking defenders. If you don't go for James, Rudiger is also quite solid at the back, and in the Champions League game last night, he seemed to be quite attacking. Allen is just the 4.5 million bench fodder player who won't really play unless really called upon, so that could be like a 2-pointer if really needed. Mo Salah, what else can I say? He's probably going to be one of the first names on your team sheet. Jota at 7.6 million adds very good value from an attacking Liverpool team, especially while Firmino is out, but just keep an eye on press conferences. If there is any indication of Firmino that he is likely to play, you might want to reconsider that. He was slightly disappointing in his last match, but he's also human and able to have sort of an off day. And then we've got Torres. So this is the only pick that I'm not that sure of will start. He has played in tonight's Champions League match. He came off after not scoring, and in the last Game Week 4 match, he never played too well, but he's one of those players that I think could slot in. If he doesn't play in the full game, he might come on after 60 minutes, 70 minutes. So either way, he's likely to be able to score potentially with a very attacking Man City team. However, if you don't bring him in, you could upgrade him to someone like Grealish, who's probably got more solid minutes. And then the next player, Rafinha, you might then downgrade to somebody like Saar potentially, with reconsidering potentially maybe a defender at a slightly lower price. So Rafinha coming in with potentially some nice fixtures coming up now. We've got Newcastle, we've got West Ham, Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. So quite a clean run there of fixtures. Probably second best to Wolves out there. Probably just this West Ham game that's the tougher one out there, and then probably the Wolves one that might also be a bit tight. So Rafinha, he's one of those players that while he might not score you a hat-trick, he's likely to, the odd game, to chip in with a goal and very likely to actually assist. And then up front, probably the most two popular two most popular players being transferred in this week: Bamford from Leeds, and then Jimenez as well from Wolves. And just looking at Raul Jimenez, in terms of his points thus far, he hasn't done much, but keeping in mind that he's played Leicester, Tottenham and Manchester United, quite tough fixtures, and as you can see, his fixtures do ease up now going forward, playing Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Leeds. He is bound to score in at least two of those matches in my view, if not most of them. So he could be quite a good pick. However, Antonio is back in the next game. So if you've got some cash in the bank, you can always transfer him out and bring in Antonio, because he's also got a good run of fixtures. And then the last striker, last but not least, Lukaku. The man is really on fire, and against a Spurs team that have hardly got any defenders after there was an injury to Eric Dyer. Tanganga was sent off. Sanchez is apparently not available. I'm not so sure about Romero. So you could have a new centre-back partnership potentially. But keep an eye out at the press conferences as well. So I think Lukaku could be licking his lips at the Spurs defense that could be lining up for this weekend's fixtures. Okay, so that's basically the team. Let me know what you think. The obvious missing pick from here is Ronaldo, but weighing up the two options between Ronaldo and Lukaku, I just feel Lukaku's actually got a better fixture to play. And then Greenwood is the other option that could be considered instead of Torres, if you've got any funds in, or you could downgrade one of your other players. And then if you don't like a double Wolves defense, you could bring in potentially someone like Duffy to replace Marcel, or there could be a player from Manchester United if you want to keep Marcel and potentially bring in Luke Shaw instead of Semedo. So then you don't lose any attacking flair there. Okay, so let me know down in the comments what you think about this team as a potential wildcard team. And if you've got any other suggested changes, or if you do like this team, please also let me know. Okay, so let me just reset this team and get back to my current team for Gameweek 5. So as you can see, I've got two reds at the bottom. Antonio is likely to be available unless he's injured for the next match. So it's just a one-match suspension, so I don't see myself taking him out. Calvin Lewin's price is probably going to drop tonight, so I think the transfer that I'll most likely do is I would most likely be bringing in Bamford instead of DCL. That leaves me with 0.3 in the bank. I could potentially swap in Raul Jimenez. My thoughts are more likely to go with Bamford at this stage, and it's a bit of a tricky one. Bamford's done slightly better than Raul Jimenez. I think from a fixture perspective, Bamford playing against Newcastle with an attacking Bielsa team might actually be a slightly better choice. And from a form perspective, you could say Bamford's been slightly better on form than Raul Jimenez. However, it's very, very close, to be honest, and it could go either way. My other possible selection for a hit would be to take out Antonio and then bring in Raul Jimenez. I would possibly then be buying Antonio back, but the price I'll be buying him back would probably be, if his price drops, I'll probably be buying him back at probably 0.1 million higher than what I have sold him for. So it's not major. If there are points for Raul Jimenez, then I think it could be worth it. My only risk by not bringing in a play in place of Antonio is if Torres does not start or gets very limited minutes, because the players I'll need to play would be Sanchez, Alexander-Arnold, White, Marcel. So that's 1, 2, Williams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Livramento has got Manchester City, I believe, so that's not the best fixture, so he definitely is the one that's going to miss out for me. So if I've got Torres that's actually not blanking, then what that means is that I'll need to play Allen or Livramento, and that would mean playing Allen. And I don't think Allen's got much points in him. He's somebody that will probably just stick over with the 2 pointers and maybe the odd assist, but not really much, and maybe the odd goal as well. And then Williams as well. I know they are playing Watford, so Watford is not a bad team for a clean sheet, but you probably can't expect more than that, and there's a chance that you could say that, let's just see who's playing at home. So, well, okay, Norwich is playing at home, fair enough, so they could potentially get a clean sheet, but between Norwich and Watford, you probably could say Watford might have a slight edge, potentially, but also it's very close, so I won't be too confident and excited about playing Williams. So, yeah, so it comes down to if Williams gets sort of almost nothing, Torres blanks out, what do I do? So yeah, so that's the only things that I'm just considering at this point, but for now I'm most likely going to make the Bamford transfer tonight. I'll just think about it further. I'll let you guys know on Twitter what my final decision is, and if I do go ahead with the transfer. So let me know what you think about this, if you do think this is a good transfer to make, and taking out Antonio with the team shape that I've actually got currently, if that's a good idea or not. Okay, so that's it for Game Week 5 for now. If there is anything else major that comes up before Game Week 5 deadline, which please remember it's on Friday this week, not on Saturday, so make a reminder for that. Otherwise, all the best for Game Week 5 and your transfers. And captaincy wise, I most likely will be going for Salah, so probably not much between Salah and some other options. Could be Lukaku, but I think Salah will most likely be the most common one. But otherwise, good luck for Game Week 5, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter at FPLA+. Cheerio!